Can you hear me? Everyone can write in the chat box. Hi, Deb. Hi, Rosemary. I think Nikki was there. Would love you to give me some feedback on whether the volume's coming in okay. Great. Thanks, Rosie. Wonderful. Hi, Deb. Nikki's there. Hi, Nikki. Wonderful. Great to see you. And I know it's cold and it's winter, and I commend you for taking time out to just to be here, to be involved. And it's great. It's good that you're all here. So tonight I'm going to I'm just going to talk a little bit about digestive enzymes. And I don't know how many of you have seen the two videos that were released by Michelle Lesueur. She's our nutritionist at Forever Green. Some of you may have seen it, like my fur. Thank you. Yes, it keeps me warm in these wintry cold days. No, okay, so I'm basically going to repeat some of that information, and I just, sometimes, you know, we need to hear things 6 or 7 times, and you can just look that up. Just Google Michelle Lesueur. There are 2 very short videos on digestive enzymes, and I'm basically, Michelle's done all the research, so I'm just going to repeat some of the things that I got out of what she was saying, why enzymes are so important. And we had the question asked the other day, I think it was Francisco, somebody had asked that question, you know, does it really make a difference? And, you know, what is it that enzymes do? And I did a bit of research, and I remember I had a friend, some of you know her, she's a cold and hydrotherapist, and she always talked about the importance of enzymes. And what really stood out to me was that enzymes are something that are finite. So we're born with a certain amount of enzymes in our bank account. It's like we have this energetic bank account of enzymes. And as we age, they diminish. And unless we're eating raw food, unless we're 85% eating raw, and a lot of the time we're eating cooked and processed, as we age, our enzyme bank account declines. And if we don't have those enzymes, enzymes are there to break down food, to break down the food so we are able to absorb the nutrition in the food that we're eating. And if we don't have the enzymes, things start to rot in our gut. And our program, our enzymes have 3 different components in them. So there's amylase, lipase, and protease. And I just don't want to get them mixed up, so I will refer to some notes tonight. So amylase is probably, I mean, they're all important, but I can start with lipase, because when people are on ketopia, you know, everyone's encouraged to eat good fat. And we know with the beta-hydroxybutyrate in the ketonic drink, as well as the MCT oils, you know, we're having a lot of salts and fats. So, you know, we have to be able to metabolize it and break it down so the body can use it. Otherwise, it's going to be sitting there, and it will be stored, and people won't get the results that they need. So, see, what happens is that everyone's got different metabolism, and a lot of people do find it hard to break down fat. And this is what the lipase does. And they've been, I think Michelle talked about a lady that just started adding lipase to her Ketopia program, and she lost 5 to 10 kilos just like that. So if you're finding that people are slow in shedding, it could be that they're having all this excess fat, but different reasons, not just it's not just to break down food, it's also used for longevity. It's used to clean things out. It strengthens. One of the new things I learned was that an enzyme actually strengthens your the wall of your membrane. And when the membrane's strong, it's permeable. When you have a strong cell membrane, it means nutrients can come in. Enzymes break them down. They strengthen the membrane so nutrients can come in, and the body and the toxins can leave the body. So it also has a very important, so that's the lipase. Now the protease is in our digestive enzymes too, and the protease is there to break down protein in the body. So if we don't have protease, again, the protein sits there and putrefies. There are different symptoms that happen to people when they don't have these three enzymes. So we've got protease, cellulase, and lipase. Obviously, I haven't talked about the cellulase, but so I don't want to get confused now. The lipase breaks down the fat. The cellulase breaks down the carbohydrates. And we need all three because we're having fats, carbs, and proteins. So with the protease I found really interesting, and Michelle did talk about this. She actually said that viruses actually live in proteins, and there are proteins, parasites actually come from proteins. So what this enzyme protease does, it actually helps to break down and kill parasites in the body. So it actually is very beneficial for the immune system. Michelle was talking about the fact that if her kids were getting sick, or she felt she was getting sick, she actually just got some protease. We have a blend of all three, protease, lipase, and amylase in our enzymes. But to have extra protease when you're feeling a virus, when you're feeling you're getting sick, because it actually strengthens the immune system. So there are a whole lot of benefits, not just breaking down food. So you've got the amylase, the protease that breaks down the protein, the lipase that breaks down the fat, and the cellulase that breaks down the carbohydrates. And, you know, our bodies, what we have to remember is that we actually need, I didn't realize how essential these enzymes were to be able to get it from an outside source, because if it is finite and we age and we're not getting it from an outside source, we're going to prematurely age. We're going to get all sorts of symptoms of inflammation. Everything begins in the gut. So how do you know, I'll ask you a question, does anyone know how you would know whether you need enzymes or not? I'll just ask for some feedback. What would be the symptoms of somebody that was lacking in digestive enzymes, do you believe? What would you believe would be symptomatic of someone who was lacking? Yeah, reflux, absolutely. Indigestion, yes. Liver issues, because there'd be fatty liver surrounding the liver and the body can't break it down. Absolutely. So gut issues, bloating. If you find that you're one of those people that eat and you are bloated, you have gas, you have that rock-like feeling in your stomach, that the food's sort of sitting there like a rock. You've had a meal and it's not going down. People that get very full on, they eat a little bit and then they're full. They feel that the food's just not going down. That is very suggestive that those people need enzymes. And again, you know, if you're not eating raw, the body, you're not going to get those extra enzymes. In the fixed drink, there are, you know, you're eating good food. There are great enzymes in the fix and in our thunder, so there are enzymes in our product, but often, you know, it's just not enough and we have to go to an outside source. So therefore, this is really, really important, very, very important. And I would recommend listening to Michelle Assur. You know, one pack only gives you 30 enzymes, and it's suggested that you have it before your heaviest meal. Now, to my understanding, it doesn't matter whether you have it 2 minutes before you're having that meal, or whether you have it half an hour before. So while you're cooking and preparing, you have your enzyme on an empty stomach and then you have it. Really, according to the research I've done, one enzyme, this will only give you one a day for a whole month. In my belief system, now that I've been doing a bit of research on it, you probably need more. I would recommend two a day. And if you can, you know, some people, you can't have enough enzymes. So some people will have one before breakfast, one before lunch, one before the evening meal. If you can't see yourself doing it like that, then at least have two before the biggest meal. And if, you know, your keto meal is going to be your heaviest meal, because, you know, most of the day you're on a liquid regime, then have two before the meal. Now, Michelle talks about longevity. She says for years she has been having enzymes on an empty stomach before bed. She'll take 2 more before she goes to sleep to replenish her energetic bank account, to help her with anti-aging, with youthfulness, and with, you know, longevity, and to keep herself looking young. So it's so multifaceted. It's not just about digestion. It's about the immune system. I don't want to leave anything out. Yes, she said, it's very interesting. She said undigested fat actually becomes rancid in your body, and undigested carbs ferment in your body. And, this is all just sitting there in and it causes inflammation. And when your gut health is compromised, it's going to lower your immune system and compromise, cause inflammation and lead to all sorts of other diseases, leaky gut syndrome and all sorts of other things. They also, another thing Michelle said, that the enzymes also increase your fighter cells in the body. So this is what I talked about before, so that, as we age, our cell membranes do become weaker. And by strengthening these membranes, we're eliminating, I don't want to repeat myself because I already said it before, which is really important. When those cells are strong and our cell membranes are healthy and strong, we're really able, and the enzymes are breaking down the food, we're able to absorb those nutrients into our bodies, and we're able to eliminate toxins really efficiently. And as I always mention on these webinars, and this is what I learned years ago, every enzyme action in the body is dependent on trace minerals. So again, going backwards, you're on Ketopia. Ketopia will work better if you're on the digestive enzymes, and the digestive enzymes are going to work really, really well if you have your 1 or 2 solar strips a day, because this is the foundation. The solar strips are the foundation. It's all the trace minerals, and every enzyme action in the body is dependent on minerals. So if the minerals aren't there, the enzymes aren't going to be working as efficiently as they need to. So it's a whole series of things. And I just want to stress that health, we are high maintenance. To be well and to live a long life, you have to put consciousness into it. I don't want to say work, but there is a certain amount of awareness and effort that has to go there. A lot of people, self-maintenance can be a full-time job these days if your goals are to stay healthy, to stay young, to be around for your grandchildren, to live. It's not everybody's priority. If you go through if you go through your values hierarchy, what's most important to you? What's most important to me, and every time I've done this exercise, health has always been number one. Then love, then family, relationships. All the other things are secondary, because for me, if I don't have my health, I can't love, I can't be available fully to life, I can't be there for my children, I can't nurture my relationships. So health to me has always been a number one priority, and therefore I'm here, researching and talking about this, and very passionate to educate people. And then people can make their own decisions. It's up to everyone to make their own decisions. And for some people, health won't be up there. But those of you that are on this webinar and that you're sharing this information with, I understand that health is important to you, and that you are prepared. You are here on this webinar making the commitment to learn more. And I'm not telling you anything new. It's just the same information, and maybe I've said something tonight that you might be hearing for the first time. And all I can do is, talk about what I'm passionate about. And I know that since I've become more aware of how important enzymes are, I'm encouraging everybody to invest, if you can, in two of these a month. I really believe. I go through two of these a month, and it's only $33.95 US, something like that. Again, you can transfer the points anywhere in your group. It doesn't have to. It's something you can order. I believe that people spend money in all sorts of ways, and I'm not denigrating anybody. People spend money, $120 goes on a massage, which is important. It's great. We can spend all sorts of money on all sorts of things. But what is the value of your health? What is it that you want? I want to be living, I want to see life evolving. I want to get the juice out of life while I'm in the physical body. I want to be here for, grandchildren, great-grandchildren. I want to make a difference on this earth. I want to be here for as long as this physical body can be here. And I'm prepared to put everything into my body that requires, so I can achieve that goal, because that to me is important. And You know, I have a zest for life. I have a zest for being in the physical for as long as I can. I like to enjoy good company, good food, and I want to be here to enjoy nature, to create, to build, to travel, and these are my priorities. So I will spend my money. You know, I live very simply, very frugally, but I will invest in my health, and I will spend my money on products that will enhance my longevity. And that's what's important to me. So I don't know, Deborah agrees. I don't know what else I can say. I don't know if there's anything I've left out. Oh, there've been, yeah, I've talked about the research on anti-aging. Yeah, there's another thing. On an empty stomach, if you take the enzymes during the day, if you can invest in your health and you've got some extra enzymes, and you can have, really, I don't think there's a limit to how many enzymes you can have. I know Michelle says she has at least 2 or 3 before each meal. She can take up to 8 a day, and she has 2 before bed just to keep her youthful. And then she has a couple before each meal. But she also said that if you have them in between meals, so somewhere, in that 3-hour break, probably between, your dough bite and your fix, and you have it on an empty stomach, she says that that's when the enzymes are doing a lot of their cleansing. And they've been known as, I know that in some of the blurbs in our program, they've been referred to as cleanzymes. They actually start cleaning out the gut and cleaning out the digestive system and breaking everything down. Another thing I forgot to mention, if you look at your poo, and I will talk about poo, apparently if you see any oily film in the toilet, that's also a sign that you don't have enough lipase, because the lipase, that you're not able to break down fat. So that's a bit of a clue if it's very slimy or filmy or oily in the toilet. And if it's, I always thought fluffy floaties were healthy, but apparently if they're too fluffy, I don't know if you've heard of the, healthy poo, and I am talking about poo here. I don't know why this is where this organically led me. So apparently stinky stinkies are not healthy. So if your poo goes to the bottom of the ground, that's not healthy. Fluffy floaties are supposed to be healthy, but if they're too sort of fluffy, or if you see little bits of food in your stool, it also means that you need enzymes, that you're not actually digesting and breaking down all your food. So that's another bit of information that you may like to know. So enzymes, sorry, Ray. Yeah, absolutely. Even if you're not, we can't have enough enzymes. As I said, we're given a finite amount of enzymes when we're born, and when we're young, we have a lot of them. But if we use them up, if we eat too much processed food, then all those enzymes will be used up in breaking down the dead food or the processed food. If you're eating a lot of live food, you will get the enzymes in the live food, but you've got to be eating 85% raw, which most people don't. So we recommend 2 enzymes. Well, I'm recommending 2 enzymes. It's just intuitively, I feel 2 enzymes before dinner. If you can have more, if you can have 1 before each meal, and 2 at your heaviest meal, all the better. I do recommend 2 of these for $66 US, still about $80 something for the month. We're talking about for the month. Whether you're on Ketopia, whether you're not on Ketopia, it doesn't matter. If you have symptoms of bloating, gas, heavy feeling in your stomach, undigested stool, you're not regular, you're not going to the toilet regularly, you probably need extra enzymes. And, the company Forever Green has really put together a fantastic formula with the lipase and the amylase and the protease to help break down proteins, fats, and carbs in exactly the perfect balance. So I totally trust the company. I've heard that people that start taking the enzymes, that if they're not dropping weight, it's often because they need these enzymes to break down the fat. Because again, I'm repeating myself again, but I can't stress enough, we're putting fat into our body. This program is wanting us to use fat as to then look for fat and use the fat for fuel. So we're putting fats, we're eating cream and we're eating cheese, but if you don't have the right enzyme to break that down, it's still going to be sitting there, and you won't be using this. If you're short in enzymes, you won't be utilizing that fat for fuel. You need the enzymes to break down the fat. So that's the long of it. So yeah, Absolutely. Enzymes. It's been an education for me too, believe me, because I, the more you read about it, the more you research, and it's an invitation. It's always an invitation for you to do your own research. Google digestive enzymes, Google benefits of digestive enzymes, and we've got, Forever Green has created great enzymes, and they work beautifully with the Ketopia program. It's a synergy. It's a beautiful fit. Solar strips, enzymes, whatever you eat, whether you're on Ketopia or not, it doesn't matter. So that's about it.
Google Michelle.
Oh, Google, yeah, there are 2 videos. If you want to Google Michelle Lesueur, just Google Michelle Lesueur digestive enzymes. She does 2 10-minute segments, and she basically just says the same thing that I've just said, but in more detail. I do have a certificate in health and nutrition, just to let you know. I'm not just I am speaking from some sort of experience, just so you know. Michelle has been researching enzymes for years. She's a naturopath and a nutritionist, and she works with energy, and she worked with a doctor. She had the privilege of working very intimately with an expert, a doctor who was an expert on digestive enzymes. So she's really, really passionate about what they do, and there are 2 short videos if you want to look that up. Yeah, Michelle Lesueur. She's the nutritionist at Forever Green, and you can Google her and find those 2 10-minute short segments. Great. Okay, I really appreciate that you've been on. Now, Deborah, would you be willing? Deborah Solomon is on tonight, and she runs Edendale Cafe, and she serves, it's a Keto Cafe, and she serves, I've heard, Deborah, that you serve keto coffee with our Keto PM. You put some hemp oil in the coffee. I don't know if Deborah's there, but I've invited Deborah next week. Oh, she's typing. How do you hear me? Okay, I would love to get you on. Deborah would like to speak.
Hear myself, so so I started Edendale Cafe, and basically the products have been shaping my own life and my business as well. So I started on the pain patches, and then I got great results from them. And then when Ketopia came in, I did the reset. So basically, at the moment, what I've been doing at my cafe is basically I'm probably the second ketogenic part ketogenic cafe in New Zealand. And I have some of the products on the menu. So I have fix shakes, and I have a keto coffee, which I use the Keto PM with cream. And I have all my products in the store, so people can just come and I buy more bulk products through my site, and I transfer the volume, and then I'm just selling them basically at cost at the moment that way, because I'm getting quite a following. I do the products, and I have a book called What the Fat. So it's about people are doing the reset, and then they might come back and they do ketonics, but it's about that long-term education. And so through myself, using the products has been the best education. So I started doing the reset, and now I might take a ketonics or a fixed drink, or I actually learn how to use them within my own family, with my children and with my husband. So I'm on the products. That's the biggest thing. I'm working the products into the menu, and I have resources to help other people long-term change from burning sugar to burning fat. So I have a book called What the Fat, and that has recipes. It's a simple guide to what is low carb, and it also shows research around for diabetics, for health issues, for weight loss in general, being in ketosis and eating lower carb is going to increase that energy and going to look after your well-being. What the Fat, you can buy a copy. It's written by a dietitian, a professor, and a chef in New Zealanders, which, well, they might be New Zealanders, but it's a really cool, let's say, Australasian book that is down to earth, easy to read, and is a great resource for customers long term. And the other thing I have in the cafe as well is a spiralizer. So a spiralizer is great for zucchini and doing other options to look at low carb vegetables being used in day-to-day living. So I have those three options, and basically it is just the products have just shaped my mind. They've changed my momentum, and they're helping me do this vision. So I also have two kids under 3, not just the cafe, but my kids under 3, and I really need these products for myself, because with having to really look at my time management, sometimes I can't get the food I need, and then having to look at the food I need I can't get from local places because the soil's depleted. There's no kind of, it's hard to find home kill that isn't pumped with antibiotics. So basically the natural way I'd love to do, but the food just isn't around. So for my energy and for my children and for my home and for my business, like seriously, these products I really love, and I'm using them, and I'm finding a way to make this business ethically and ethically work for me, and that's through my cafe. But the cafe is really now being bridged into a holistic health centre. So I've got my bachelor's in counselling, and I've done a lot of things, and they've all just been waiting there. But once again, my counselling, I've just set up my room outside the cafe. So I'm going to start doing my counselling. I love the fact that I can use the pain patches. I love the fact that I can use the solar strips, the marine phytoplankton, and diet. So when we meet with people in ourselves in some way, if it's mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, we are affected by what we consume. And that's why, I really enjoy these products, because Ron Williams is, I would call him a rebel to the world. He does tell the truth about our nutrition, and a lot of times when you start something, it's going to go against the world, because the world is just about possibly not the truth, but just making money. So this has helped me open my eyes to not everything is what it seems, and to build a business that I can ethically go along with. And so I'm just at the beginning, and you get tested by your why you do anything. And I'm still going. So if you're ever in New Zealand or West Melbourne, I'm on Facebook as well. It's called Edendale Keto Cafe and events. So you can join that group, and I have recipes, and I'm just trying to create a resource for my customers and an ethical resource for people that have health issues, that they can find their way long term back to the village. And in saying that, my whānau was Māori, and it is European, and so the Indigenous way is a ketogenic way. So I love the fact that that it's Indigenous, it's somewhere, it's an ancient path, it's a biblical path, and unfortunately we've been put on path, and this helps us get back on path. So I can't hear anything I'm saying or whether I'm still online, but I'll finish at that.
Are we back? Can you hear us? Thank you, Deb. Yeah, that was great. How good was that? We worked out the technology. Yay, to introduce someone from another country, from New Zealand. We'll get there. We'll get it perfected next week. And that was a surprise, because I thought that will happen. I thought this week we could have Deborah as a special guest, and we could interview her. And that's great. That's great. That was wonderful, because what we want to do, we want to build up a community and hear what everyone's doing and get inspired by what each of us are doing. And you had that book, What the Fat, and a lot of people hadn't heard of it, and it is a great resource, and we haven't actually mentioned it on this webinar. And everyone, everyone brings their wealth of experience to this webinar, and together we can really bring Ron Ron's vision to fruition. And thank you. I'm really grateful that you were on tonight. Next week, please be on. We've got a variety of people. I don't know. I have no idea what's happening. We've got a few different possibilities for guest speakers. We've got now that we've worked out this technology and we can take it to the next level, we might be doing interviews. We've got a few people sort of set up and waiting to be interviewed. We've got somebody from Los Angeles. We just have to fit in all the time zones. Then we've still got a type 2 diabetic who's Sakshi, she may be on next week or the week after that. We've got a few really good testimonials. We have, Simona will be back. We've got a lady, Rosemary's got a lady who lost 20 kilo on Ketopia. Her goal was to lose 40 kilos. She lost 20, and we're hoping to have her on in the next few weeks. We're just waiting for Rosemary to tee it up. That could be next week or the week after next. We've got Denise, who's away also. She's lost 14.5 kilos. She's away for 3.5 weeks. So we've got lots of amazing testimonials because Ketopia works and it's been helping a lot of people. So please join us next week at 6:30 and just let it be surprised. We don't know what's going to happen. It's called organised chaos here, but it works. So let's just continue to move closer and closer back to the village. All right, thanks everyone. Good night. That was really great, and thanks Deb for your contribution, and thank you Nadav. Thank you Nadav for working this out finally.
We're getting better.
We're on a high here. We're finally cracking the technology code. All right, see you everybody. Thanks Deb. Thanks both Debs. Okay. Deb and Deborah. Good night everyone. Good night Menon.